What's up, Sinuela? Senuti Iti, then Ishak and Kemet. I hope you're doing well. Let me check the sound. Make sure you can hear me loud and clear. It's an impromptu stream. I decided to say what's up to the family, and the title says, Ask your questions. Don't be shy. An impromptu stream. I decided to say what's up to the family, and the title says, Ask your questions. Don't be shy. An impromptu stream. All right, so far, so good. So feel free, brothers and sisters. Nobody will ever have the opportunity to claim that they cannot get on the panel, that they cannot ask the questions. You know how I get down. You know how I do. I don't screen the callers. All you need to do is to show your face. If you don't want to call in, then you have the chat. I would love to hear from you, brothers and sisters. You probably have questions, and feel free. Feel free. Now, if you don't have questions and you want to make a statement, then feel free as well. But out of the interaction, I want to know what's up with you. For those who don't know, what I'm waiting for people to participate, I'm giving meta nurture classes and I'm looking for new learners. So if you are interested in learning the meta nurture, then feel free to contact me. Yeah. So it should be, well, let me double check. I think it is, it must be almost 5:30 p.m. in New York. Yes, indeed. So 5 p.m. will be EST, New York time. It will be possible. It will definitely be possible. So it's up to you to let me know, brothers and sisters. In the meantime, let me know what's good. Let me know what's up. Looks like the pseudoism is coming to an end, but pseudoism will always be popular because a lot of people just love things that sound good. If it sounds good enough, then that's it. You have believers. So you can talk about current events. You can talk about something that I've stated years ago, something that I've stated days ago. It's on you. It's up to you. Feel free. Just want to see what's up with my peeps. I actually had a class earlier, and you know that whenever I have a class, I'm in a good mood, a very good mood, because I love teaching. It's my passion, you know. And I'm talking about the Meduneche, the hieroglyphic. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. The learners are making progress, and it's just lovely. Are you learning any foreign language, brothers and sisters? Let me know what's on your mind. I'm not sure if I will wait 20 minutes this time, because I know it takes about that long for people to get notified. Oh, we have James Powell. How you doing, brother? Feel free if you have any questions. I'm really looking for interaction and participation. So if there's none, I'll call it a day. Like I was saying, I don't know if you were here from the beginning, but I just had a class, and usually after a class of Meta Nature, of course, and I'm in a very good mood. So I decided to say what's up with the family. It wasn't planned. That live stream was impromptu, and I want to know what's good with the people. Now, whenever I'm live streaming, brothers and sisters, no matter what the title says, you are free to address anything at all. I have shared the invite link. It's in the chat, so anybody can click on it and get on the panel as long as they don't mind showing their face. That is good. If they don't want to show their face, then you have the chat. Feel free. Even if you disagree with me, you can come and holler. It's all good. Sometimes I read people who say, "Well, that guy he blocked me because I refuted him, or he didn't want to debate me. He was scared to debate me." Because sometimes that's how people get down. They act like you have an obligation to engage them. But like I said, I don't screen the callers, so you will be hard pressed to find people making this type of claim with me. So let me know what's good, brothers and sisters. Let me know what's up. I don't mind that there's a few people when I'm live streaming. I don't mind at all. Now, I'm good to speak with anybody or communicate with anybody because not everybody will call and get on the panel, but preferably those who never said what's up before. I've been wondering why we don't have people from the UK, but I'm not even tripping on that anymore. It's just weird to me. Amazing and weird. We have a few Moors in the UK, apparently. A few Hebrew Israelites as well. The Kemetic people in the UK, I don't really know. I don't really know. They surely don't have any presence online. Have you ever heard about, some Kemetic organization that has a presence online for brothers and sisters from the UK? You know any channel or someone from the UK dealing with the Kemetic teaching? If you do not, let me know. Share it in the chat. I came across some Kemetic organization in South Africa. Now, in the videos, you have a little bit of English, but the speaker mainly uses that language. I don't know if it's Xhosa or Zulu. I don't know what language it is, but it's a South African language. So all the way down to South Africa, you have some Kemetic organization, and they meet on a regular basis. They have a presence online. When it comes to England, I don't know what's up. Now in America, of course, we do have several Kemetic organizations. As for France, we have a lot of people claiming to be Kemetic, but that's another story. Probably 95% of them don't know the Meta Nature, don't care to study it, and they listen to freestylers and scammers. They just like when stuff sounds good. Now on Facebook, oh man, the French speaking Kemetic people, that's their world, that's their kingdom. The majority are anonymous. So it's good with you, brothers and sisters. Sometimes I wonder, do people expect me to just do presentations, lecturing on some topic? Because I really don't feel like doing that. I have my main videos that deal with some particular subjects. And I don't want to take time preparing some slides just to have a very low attendance. And I prepare slides almost on a daily basis for the Meta Nature classes. Now, this is a username that I don't recall seeing before. Banita, Mother Goddess, Anutru. Peace to you. Where are you from, if you don't mind me asking? I'm going to get something to drink. I'll be right back. Are you a brother or a sister? A person is from Memphis, Tennessee, from the South. And he or she asked, I always wonder what part of the world. Well, I am in Europe, precisely France. The problem with my microphone is too sensitive. So I will try to look for one that is less sensitive because sometimes I hear the cars passing by outside. Swarm. Feel free, Banita, if you have any questions. And anybody else, brothers and sisters, feel free. Take advantage. Oh, it's so warm. Yesterday was 30 degrees Celsius, 32 degrees Celsius. Which is 89 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, those who are from the south, they're probably used to this type of temperatures. But in May, to have 89 degrees Fahrenheit, that's a huge transition. Banita wrote, that's cool. How long did it take you to learn to speak the language of the Egyptians? Well, I don't know if we can use the notion of being fluent in the hieroglyphic. There are hundreds of glyphs. So it's a continuous long journey. I started learning it around either late 2004 or 2005. And the book I had was not the best in the world, so I left it alone until 2008 when I kind of familiarized myself when I refuted that claim that there's a glyph that means Allah. And I think it's in 2010 that I really started learning it. Because when I said I familiarized myself, I had that Burgess book of the Peret Emheru of Ani, or the Papyrus of Ani. And what I like about that book is that we have the hieroglyphic transcript. Because those who have seen the Papyrus of Ani knows that it is cursive hieroglyph, not the classical hieroglyphic. So probably around 2010, that's when I really commit myself to learning it. And for a little while now, ever since I've been giving classes, I've been really deep with it, uh, preparing different classes, preparing loads of slides. So it's not really a direct answer because when I first started learning it, I stopped real quick. If I remember correctly, I still kept the book until recently. Recently I kind of got rid of it because I wanted to make space, but out of nostalgia, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that word correctly, but I kept it. And if I remember correctly, the author showed the glyphs and the transliteration, but not the pronunciation. And it was a turn off for me. Sometimes people have knowledge about some topic, but they are not the most skilled at explaining their particular field of knowledge, particularly in a book form. Benita, are you a brother or sister? Telling us that it is super hot in Memphis. Have you ever tried to learn the Mennonite? Do you know some people who have tried to learn it? If anybody wants to learn the Mennonite, like I've said many times, I recommend that you study, that you learn the unity tools. If you wonder what the unity tools are, I will show you. On that website of mine, you have the hieroglyphic sign list according to Sir Alan Gardner's classification. I've shared the link in the chat. That's where it leads you. So it's classified, according to the letters. A, man in his occupation. B, woman in her occupation, and so on. If you go at the bottom of the screen, that's what you have. Those are the unity rules. Now, Sister Benita is asking if I studied, if I went to a college or university, or if I studied myself. I studied in Mennonite myself with books mainly, and I had the luck and pleasure of having softwares as well. So the first software that I got was only working on Windows XP. So I bought myself a small notebook with an external CD drive or CD player. And I would just study and write, because they had exercises where you had to write. Of course, I would not write as well as you see it on the walls, but it was just a way to practice. And then I got some books and some other softwares, but mainly these books. So yes, that is. Oh, greetings to Justin Rodwell. Now we have a brother called Abu Simple, but there is no video, and I'm just requiring people to have a webcam to show their face. I mean, he doesn't need to have a webcam now. We don't really have the webcams that back in the days. They're really part of the the computer. I mean, it takes me back when way back we had the external webcam. But basically, all I'm trying to say is that I'm just requiring for people to show their face. So please, Abu Simple, if you don't mind, I would like you to let me see your face. I just want people to show their face when they get on the panel. If for whatever reason you don't want to or you cannot, then feel free to use the chat. We can communicate via the chat. So don't take it the wrong way. And it goes for everybody. It's not personal. It's not directed at you who just try to come. Yesterday, somebody tried to come. I told him, the same thing, and then he bounced, and that's it. Now, I've received a private chat message. He said, "You can see my face." No, I mean the video. The video. That's what I mean. The video. Whenever I say, I require people to show their face, I mean a video. I don't mean just a picture. That's what I mean. Banita Azaski is saying, I do know some people who have tried to learn. I've been moved to learn myself. Now, Abu Simple wrote, well, That's a private chat. Good luck having audience participation doing this, sir. Thank you. And I'm aware you're correct. You are right. I'm aware. Ever since I've been doing that, I have much less participation. But that's a choice of mine. That's a choice of mine, and it is what it is. But people can always participate in the chat. I really don't see why people wouldn't show their face. I mean, for the most part, we are adults with children, and there's nothing illegal in what we do or what we say. So, Justin Rodwell, if you don't mind saying, if you ever, participated in the chat before, if you don't mind saying where you are from. And Banita is saying, I just went to your site. You're so awesome. We'll most definitely start there. And then she added, we can appear on the video. On the video, I mean, in the chat, if you look at the top, it says invite link. And that link allows people to get on the panel. So they can use a smartphone. It would just ask you to authorize the access to your webcam or camera. The same can be done with a tablet or a PC, whether it's Mac or Windows. So people indeed can appear on the panel. If they click on that link, they can appear. Justin is from New York and is asking, who do you think the Egyptians learned language from? I really don't know. I don't know if they learned it from somebody. I don't necessarily think that people learn language from some other people. I presume that a population has a language that they use to communicate with each other. Now, when the language is in written form, then that's something else. And the Medu Neter happens to be one of the oldest, if not the oldest, attested written language. They're kind of trying to, push the Sumerian is older than Medu Neter, but it's on them. Now, Banita, if you want to learn the Medu Neter, I'm giving classes. $10 for a 1 hour class. But I'm looking for groups now. So if you know some people who are interested also, feel free to contact me. My email address is in the description of this video. For those who don't know, I will type it now. Let's copy and paste it to avoid any mistake. Oh, it looks like Benita has joined us, but I don't. Oh, there it is. So I will put you on the panel in a couple of seconds. Greetings, sister. How are you?
Greetings. Hello. Am I right? How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear loud and clear.
I'm so honored to be on your panel. I have been watching you for a couple of years now. Just regular life stuff I've been dealing with though. But now at this point in time in my life, I'm very interested in learning how to read hieroglyphs or a different language. I don't know. I've always been drawn to Egyptian culture, other cultures as well. It's just something about the Egyptian culture, though. I've had 2 instances in my life in the mirror where I was getting ready for something, and I've seen like this Egyptian princess or something in the mirror, like on my face. So I just, I first of all just want to thank you for all the work that you have been doing. It's really amazing. I've seen that you've been a lot of places. You have a lot of knowledge, and I just want to appreciate you. Let you know that I appreciate you for your time and your energy that you have put into this. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad you appreciate it because I don't get thanks very often. We also have brother Justin. Welcome, brother.
Yo, what's good, Hotep?
Hotel. Where are you from, Justin? Oh,
That's
you
your
said New York
ancestors, bro.
already.
That's why
Okay.
you seeing them.
Come again?
I said that's her ancestors. That's why she's seeing them in the mirror.
All right. And
Thank you for that.
thank you for calling in, Justin. You see, brothers and sisters, we have one brother, we have one sister. It's that easy. And people have
Mm.
reasons why they don't show their face, but I prefer that it's like that. I think it's better. I think it's more appropriate. But yeah, definitely, Sister Banita. Yeah, I'm definitely giving classes. Now, I did propose back then, Saturday, 11 p.m. EST, and I have about three people who sent me some email and told me that it will suit them. So I really want to have 10 people, because out of the 10, probably maybe five will not continue after the first class, but at least there will be five remaining. But like I've been saying recently, and when I say 11 p.m., I mean EST, New York time. Uh, 5 p.m. EST, you know, I could do that as well. So if I get 10 people, then we're good to go. So if you know some people who want to learn, well, actually, whoever's interested in learning, just send me an email and tell me, I'm okay for Saturday 11 p.m. EST or um, or um, uh, or 5 p.m. EST, and then tell me the day that suits you. And then when I have enough people that are okay for that same time slot, then I will just let you know, okay, it's on now. You just need to make the payment by PayPal or Cash App, and then we're good to go. And Brother Justin, feel free if you wanted to speak.
What's good? Nah, I just I don't know. The meta nature is something that like I studied Kemet a lot. Learned from a lot of teachers, Ashra Kwesi, all of them, like all the OGs. Like that's one thing that recently they've been debating hard whether or not meta nature has really been deciphered by Champollion or whether it hasn't. And that's kind of something I always been stuck on. Like I even done watch debates where master teachers they're going back and forth, but both sides bring a very good argument. So it's like I don't know. I'm kind of stuck on that.
Mhm. What is your
Obviously, like I've watched your stuff before. You be seem to be knowing your thing with the meta nature, but like I said, both sides bring a good argument.
Mhm. And what is your personal opinion? Do you feel like it has been deciphered or not, or do you feel like it has not been deciphered by Champollion? What is your personal stance?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like the person that they say deciphered it is sketchy because now I feel like we starting to mess with Masons and people like that. They always hiding their knowledge. You see what I'm saying? But then, like I said, you got people like you that seem like you really studied in it and you know what you're talking about. Like Ashra Kwesi be going there reading the glisten from all his people. I don't know. You got a lot of people that have said it. Dr. Ben, everybody, but then you got a lot of people too that are saying, like Young Pharaoh, Sarasu and Seti. A lot of people saying that it's never been deciphered.
Well, indeed. Now, the people who kind of have some large audience that I've heard saying that the Meta Nature has not been deciphered, I count three. The first one I've heard saying that is Walter Williams.
Oh yeah, that's another
The
one. Walter.
Yes, and then he argued that over just 2 pages on his book, The Historical Origin of Christianity. And in summary, he said, well, we were not there, so we don't know what the symbols meant. We had to be there to know what the symbols meant. But, it's the same for the letter R, the letter B that derives from alpha and beta that ultimately derives from aleph and beta, hence the term alphabet, aleph bet. And so that's from the Proto-Sinaitic language or the Hebrew via way of the Phoenician. So we don't even know where those symbols came from. We're not there when they go for those
Got
symbols.
our
But no, come again, brother.
I said, and the Phoenicians is who we got our alphabet from, correct?
Yes, some people will say the Phoenician, some people will say it comes from the Hebrew, but nobody says that the English language has not been deciphered. If that's some term that will make sense, because we don't know what the symbols meant. You see, and so besides Walter Williams, then I heard Seti and Young Pharaoh. I don't know who said it first, but it seems like they said it at the same time. They were actually supposed to have a debate about that, but like the
They
day
did.
before,
Yeah.
well, there was a debate schedule, and the day before, there was some disagreement over the contract. So they ended up doing a lecture that people had to pay in order to view. And the other side, I don't remember if the other side actually made their presentation, but there was actually a book that refutes the claims of Walter Williams. And I think it's when it comes to Saraswati Seti, he debated Nasi Yashuvel. And at the end of this debate, there's some question and answers. And someone asked Seti if he knows the Medu Neter, and Seti replied, I know bits and pieces of it. So the debate with Nasi
Which
Yashuvel,
because he studied with Ashra Kwesi as well. I
he
believe
actually
he went to Kemet with him. So I don't know.
he went to Kemet 3 times with Ashwakwezi, and he was raised up by Ashwakwezi. So it's quite surprising that he would say that Medu Neter has not been deciphered. Knowing that years prior, he actually said that he knows bits and pieces of the Medu Neter. So now, as for Young Pharaoh, he kind of made a video explaining why it has not been deciphered, but honestly, I did not watch it. I went and scrolled through the video and I left it there. Young Pharaoh, I think it's clear that he's going through some things. So uh, that
Yeah, because he was talking about Bobby Hemmett. He was talking about a lot of people.
well, I mean, he's free to talk about whoever he wants, but this there's a lot of drama in his life. So what I want to tell the brothers and sisters is that the Medu Neter has definitely been deciphered. I I don't want our people to feel like, oh well, it was a white dude that deciphered it. Before Champollion, some other people worked on the Medu Neter. Champollion was lucky to come across the Rosetta Stone, which is the same text written in 3 scripts, 2 languages. The 2 scripts are the Demotic or Hieroglyphic and the classical hieroglyphic. So the language is the Medu Neter, and the other script was the Greek. But it was the same text. So because they knew that inside of a cartouche we have the name of a king, they were able to isolate the different letters and know what their phonetic values are. Before Champollion, a British man named Young worked on the Medu Neter, and even before those two, way before, there's a Muslim guy who attempted to decipher the Medu Neter. Now, he did not get it all correct, but he was on his way. He got some science figured out. Now, I don't really have his name in my mind. So once again, because Champollion came across that Rosetta Stone in the 1800s, that's why he was able to have that breakthrough in understanding the phonetic values. And besides, he knew the Coptic, and he actually knew probably Greek, but he knew several languages. He was very skilled with languages. So I don't want our people to feel like, well, it's a white dude that, once again, other people worked on the decipherment of the hieroglyphics. And the Coptic language, which is still spoken, not as a national language, it's more of a liturgical language used for the religious service. So in Egypt, we have the Coptic people. It's the same term for the language and the people. They use that language in the religious service. And some people will use that language at home as well. And the Coptic happens to be the latest phase or the latest stage of the Medu Neter, you see. So it's also instrumental in knowing how the words were most likely pronounced. Not exactly, but most likely pronounced. So we have plenty of people around the world that studied the Medu Neter along with other languages, and it is for sure that it has been deciphered. If people say that the Medu Neter has not been deciphered, then they should say that the Hebrew has not been deciphered, because at one point the Hebrew was not really spoken like that, besides being a liturgical language, but then they went through a revival process and they used a lot of Yiddish, but yet nobody says that the Hebrew has not been deciphered. So I really hope that our people will stop saying what Walter Williams and other people have said. The Medu Neter has definitely been deciphered, because if it was not deciphered, it will mean that we have those 3 guys that I named. Now I know that other people also say it has not been deciphered, but those 3 guys, they really kind of have some audience, It means that those 3 guys are right, but all the PhDs in the world that study Egyptology are wrong, and that's very unlikely.
Walter Williams also said that the Greeks never studied in Kemet with the Kemites. He said
Well,
they
he
would
can.
never let the Greeks in. Said he would never let they would never let the Greeks into the mystery schools.
Well, he can say that, and just like I heard Ashwa Kwezi in one of his DVDs, he shows some empty cartouches. Now, once again, in the cartouche have the name of a king. And Ashwa Kwezi said that's because they didn't respect the Greek, so they didn't put any names inside of the cartouche. But the Greeks will not be stupid enough to not realize that, oh, they didn't put anything. Even if you don't know the language, you will see if it's empty or not. Now, when I went to Quebec back in 2012, the tour guy explained that before the individual will become a king, he will have to go through some sort of initiation or ritual, and then they will put the name inside of the chenu. Now, whether what the tour guy said is true or not, I mean, it's very unlikely that the Greeks did not realize that the cartouche was empty. So sometimes people make interpretation, you see. Now, for anyone to say, well, they did not let the Greeks into the mystery schools, that's something. But once again, the Rosetta Stone is a testament that at the time when the Greeks were there, the Medu Neter was still spoken and written, because we do have both languages on the Rosetta Stone. Besides, it's not the only artifact or monument where we have the two languages. There are others as well. Not many, but there are others as well. I don't have them on, I don't have their names, but people can challenge me on that if they want. So the Greeks were there when there was temples, when there were priests. So they were familiar. Now, if someone were to claim, okay, they didn't know all the secrets, I'm like, okay, fine, I can live with that. But they were definitely there. Some people even said that Cleopatra knew the hieroglyphic, I don't know if that's true because, some people may say many things about her. Some people say that she was black. I don't know where they get that from because she was from the Ptolemaic dynasty of the Greeks. So Ptolemy was basically some sort of general of Alexander the Macedonian or Greek ruler. So Walter Williams actually made many claims. He was actually challenged by Dr. Weston Muhammad to a debate. He did not step up to the plate,
Oh, really?
And yes, and the videos online, because he declined, Weston Muhammad still went ahead and did the lecture, and it was a bit embarrassing. But we only have one side though. But at one point, he even showed a comic book, and he said, that claim of Walter Williams comes from a comic book. So, I mean, Walter Williams, so a lot of people call him Dr. Walter Williams. I don't know which doctorate degree he has. I don't know if he has one. I mean, I'm not trying to knock him down. He's an elder and all, but I personally don't take him seriously.
I mean, I didn't agree with what he said when he said the Greeks weren't in Kemet, because to me that doesn't add up. But I mean, also because the Greeks took over Kemet, so how would they know how to do that without kind of having like an inside layout of everything?
No, they were there. I mean, we have Herodotus. He went to Kemet. We have Pythagoras and Thales. They are said to have been in Kemet. And like you said, the Greeks were in Kemet. We have the late period, and that's when the Greeks were there. So no, it's just unfortunate. Walter Williams has a personal opinion. He has a personal opinion that the Medu Neter has not been deciphered. Though he greets by saying Ma'at Hotep, I wonder why. If he has not been deciphered, why would you greet?
See, that's what throws me off too, because all these people that say it's never been deciphered, they in a way use the language. So
they use the language. Yeah, so some of them have Kemetic names. He greets by saying Ma'at Hotep. The book where he made that claim, The Historical Origin of Christianity, was published on the Ma'atian Press. So we have Ma'at. So I mean, it really doesn't make sense. Why would you greet saying Ma'at Hotep? I get a private message here. Okay, so yeah, if you have to go, sister, I understand, but feel free to come back. So yeah, I really hope that brothers and sisters worldwide will understand that the Medu Neter hasn't definitely been deciphered. It has. I mean, there's no if, ands, and buts about it. It's a known fact. It's an academic discipline that is studied around the world. Definitely. And we even have some terms that derive from the Medu Neter, like Ibani. I made a video about that. The word Ibani derives from the Medu Neter, from ebony.
Yeah.
And if my memory doesn't fail me, the text where we can see ebony is a house on the St. Andrews University. But once again, if people type in Ma'at Forever and Ibani, they will surely come across the video. As a matter of fact, I will do that now and then share it in the chat. So Ma'at Forever.
So
Ibani.
when you went to Kemet, who did you travel with when you were there?
Well, I I wanted to go with some black people who used to organize the travel. The problem is that they would not give the date too much in advance. Uh, so I ultimately, did a typical circuit. Now there might be another word in English that you use, but a typical tour.
Yeah.
And I went cruising down the Nile from the south to the north. So from Aswan all the way to Cairo with a stop in Hurghada. So I didn't go with anybody, but we were in a group with one tour guide. And just for the record here, Ibani derives from the Medu Neter, and I'm sharing the link. And it was great, but you never go to all the sites. So I went to
Tough time, right?
Philae, I went to Kumombo, to Karnak Temple, Abu Simbel, to the pyramids, but I did not see Khufu's boat. I did not see the Step Pyramid. So there's, of course, I went to the Cairo Museum, and back then we were not allowed to film or take pictures, but now it has changed. Now we can take pictures, and I think we can film as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice. It was nice.
It's weird, right? How they say no pictures, no video. Like, why?
Well, then, well, why tourism is the number one source of income for Egypt? So I can understand they will not let people film or take pictures. In the Valley of the Kings and Valley of the Queens, the same. No pictures, no filming. Now, if people want to take pictures or film, then they will have to, contact and get some clearance, some authorization, and of course they will have to pay. Just like when people publish books, if they want to put some artifact from a museum, they will have to pay. And that's the reason why many times we have sketches. Our sister Banita is back. Welcome back, sister.
Thank you.
Well, feel free, brothers and sisters. The floor is yours. The mic is yours.
Yeah, I just asked you who you went with because I've been trying to go for a while, but I don't know the way that things is right now in the world. I don't feel like it's in the right time to be traveling over there. But it's definitely something that's on my to-do list, like ASAP.
Brother, there are some people who do tours. Usually they will be a bit more expensive than if you go on, some websites or some travel agency. But the plus that you get if you go with some people who will really focus on the African aspect of things, that's the plus that you will get if you go with some people that specialize in that. However, I felt the same way when I went there. That was after the Arab Spring. I'm not sure if you call it Arab Spring in English, but when I think it started in Tunisia, and then he spread, to different countries, and they ultimately got rid of their president. So it was after the revolution, and I thought to myself, well, I don't know, because some people actually went to the museum, the Cairo Museum, and they damaged some artifact, and some people were even talking about, blowing up the pyramids, those extremists. So I thought, what, we never know what might happen. It doesn't seem that extra safe, but I'd rather go before the pyramid blows off if that was to happen. So I ultimately made it. So probably if you have the funds to go, it might be best to go because there's a lot of security. I mean, I've seen police and security like everywhere, because once again, tourism is the number one source of income. It brings them more money than the Suez Canal, so they don't play with that. They don't play with the safety of the tourists. And because we never know what might happen ultimately. Something might happen in Kemet, something might happen in your life, and you cannot go. However, if you're planning on going, it's probably worth to wait for the new museum, which will be the largest museum in the world. It's about 98 to 99% complete. So they will probably open it by November because it will mark the 200th anniversary of the decipherment. I'm sorry, of the discovery of King Tut's tomb, the tomb of Tutankhamun. Now we are on the 200th anniversary of the decipherment of the hieroglyphic. But so I expect by the end of the year it will be open. You know,
So that's gonna be in Cairo too.
It's I forgot the town, but it's I would say it's between Cairo and Giza, the Giza plateau where the pyramids are.
Yeah.
Uh, but I can have the Grand Egyptian Museum. Egyptian Museum.
What's it
I'm not
called? Grand
sure.
Egyptian.
Yes, that's what it's called, the Grand Egyptian Museum. Oh yes, it's in Giza indeed. You know, also known
Okay.
as the Giza Museum. You know, and it is the largest museum in the world. It's just not open yet. You know.
That's dope.
Mm. Yeah, I can't wait to go there when they finish, you know. And I expect they will at least allow people to take pictures if they don't allow to film because it would be a bad look, you know, otherwise.
If I go all the way over there, I don't care. I'm taking pictures, video, all
No,
that.
you can't because like you know when we went to the
That's
valley
our
of the
stuff anyway.
no, I understand, but you know, they have people who will follow you and they will ask you to remove it. When we went to the Valley of the King and Valley of the Queens, you know, some people try to take pictures and they have people they're dressed like you know, like us, like they don't have uniforms.
Oh yeah.
And they will make sure that you go through the pictures and you delete them, you know. I mean, you know, it was Asian tourists, so I don't know if they were from China or anywhere else, but you know, they like to take pictures all the time. And I saw the guys like, you know, show me, show me, show me, and they delete it. You know, they're very serious with that. Once again, because you know, but I really expect and I hope that at least in the Grand Egyptian Museum they will allow people to take pictures. You know, that's the minimum really that they should do. If we are lucky, they will allow us to take footage. For example, in the Leiden Museum in the Netherlands, they don't allow people to film, but they allow you to take pictures. You know,
Mm.
and the Louvre Museum, British Museum, you know, you can take pictures, you can film. You know, most museums anyway, you can take pictures and film. But some museums, like the museum in Geneva, Switzerland, we can take pictures, but we cannot film. You know, so some museums they are like that.
Okay.
It's not just in Kemet that they don't allow people to film. However, in other museums, they will allow you to take pictures. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, you know, if I find out they don't allow people to take pictures, I might go to visit, but I'm not sure. You know, if I would go. But I think they will. It will be the largest museum in the world. You know, it will be too much if they don't allow people to take pictures. You know, they will have too many negative reviews. People have been waiting for that museum for years, and they're just waiting for the opening date. You know, that we don't have yet. So it will be too much of a bad publicity if they don't allow people to take pictures. You know.
Yeah.
And for the first time, we will see some things that will be on display for the first time. And for the first time, we will have the full Tutankhamun's treasure.
Yeah.
Yes, for the first time, everything that was found in his tomb will be on display.
I
So,
wear his mother on my neck every day.
well,
That's
I don't know
my
if you're
Nefertiti.
aware. I don't know if you're aware, but that Nefertiti bust is anonymous.
You
So a lot
said
of
the
people,
what?
that's the Nefertiti bust, right? The
Hmm.
face of
Yeah,
uh,
this the Europeanized version of it. You know, this ain't how she was depicted in on the temples and everything.
well, we have depictions of her. I've shown a few depictions of her.
Yeah, but they
Um,
don't look like this.
no, it doesn't look like this,
They
but
show
that one,
with the elongated skull and everything next to
indeed, indeed,
Next to Akhenaten.
with the Amana, yes, next to Akhenaten, her husband. It's not sure that she is his mother. His mother might have been somebody else, but he is to King Tut is to Akhenaten's son. Some people feel like he might be his brother, but you know they are related. You know, genetically they share the same genes. But who knows? Maybe he's the mother, but some people feel like you know his mother was somebody else. But this bust that is in the Germany, I think in Berlin's museum, is anonymous. So people say it's Nefertiti. I don't know why they say that, because if it's anonymous, how would they know it's her? You see, some people even feel like it's a fake, you know. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's fake, but what we can say for sure is anonymous. Her name is not written there, so it's possible that there's some fraud going on around that one, you know. But even if it's a genuine artifact, it's anonymous.
Mm.
And it's a shame because that depiction is very popular. You know, Tupac had a tattoo, of that depiction, and many people wear, necklaces and stuff like that. But I mean, it's not the end of the world. But it's good to let people know, okay, that one is anonymous. Don't think that it is. And they like to portray that, oh, the most beautiful woman in the world, and on books, on documentaries, that's the depiction that they like to show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And feel free to with your questions, and same for you, Sister Benita.
Yeah, she got asked something now
Right.
because
So this like totally threw me off that you were live. I went and picked my god baby up, and she's having like a ceremony for graduating high school, and I saw that you were live, and I'm like, what is going on? So I just jumped on the live as soon as I saw that you were live on my, on my news feed, and this just was so unexpected. But I'm actually at her it's not a graduation, but they're doing a ceremony for the high schoolers that are graduating high school, and I'm here. I actually do have a lot of questions. I kind of don't want to get started with them because I don't know what time they're going to get started. But I did have questions about Horace,
Mhm.
in particular, because I do feel a connection to Horace and Ra. And so those were going to be my questions. I know we were just talking about um, Akhenaten. Am I saying
Akhenaten,
that
yes,
correctly?
yes, that's correct. Akhenaten,
So
yeah.
I know that we were just speaking about him, but I wanted to. So Horus and Ra would be further back in history, correct?
Horus and Ra, those are deities, uh,
Oh,
or gods, or Necheru, as we say in Mother Nature. So I don't think we can put a date on them. You know,
mm,
as for Akhenaten,
okay,
it would be around 1300 BC,
18th
1340 BC.
dynasty, right?
Yes, 18th dynasty indeed. But I don't think
okay.
anyone is in a position to give a date for Horus or Ra.
Hey, Rue.
So it's kind. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, feel free.
Well, so what I was gonna speak was, so it's kind of like, if I use an example in today's terms, it's kind of like people believing in the God that is just, let's just say, Allah or Jehovah or something, like that. But there are actual rulers of the world, and that would be Akhenaten, an actual person, but the gods are just the gods, right? It's not like a person. I just wanted to clarify that even for myself that okay, Ryan Horus are gods, and Akhenaten would be a um, a king or a pharaoh. I could be wrong, but I mean you can correct me.
No, that's correct. I mean, Pharaoh is basically a word that kind of mean king. So Akhenaten indeed he was a king of Kemet. Behind me, this is his father, Amenhotep III. Akhenaten was actually called Amenhotep IV. But we say the fourth, but he was called Amenhotep. He changed his name to Akhenaten. Um, some people feel like the Necheru or the gods of ancient Egypt are forces in creation, forces on nature. Some people feel like, ultimately, back in the days, they were living human beings that were deified, because we do have some people that later on were deified, but initially they were living persons, like Imhotep, for example. And there's some other people also who are deified. The last time I looked for the quote from the Oxford History of Ancient Egypt, for strange reason, I did not find the quote, but I know somewhere I wrote about some people being deified after their death. So they were living people and they were later on deified. So uh, I would say that indeed they were considered gods, what we refer to as gods today. Indeed, yes, that's what I would say. And sometimes when people try to vilify or invalidate some Kemetic teaching, then they like to talk about the Necheru or the gods. But I like to say, well, those are deities, let's deal with the living people. Like Narmer, for example. Narmer, the unifier of the two lands, Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt, he lived around 3100 BCE, and that's the birth of the first dynasty. But even before the first dynasty, we have names of rulers in the pre-dynasty period, so the empire was very long. It lasted for about 3,000 years. So Kemet was not just a country, it was an empire, and it was also a civilization. When we see the length of this empire, the society, 3,000 years, there's not many civilizations that lasted that long and that had dominion over so much territories. And Justin, this it says device is not connected, so it looks like you lost your connection. So feel free to to leave the panel and come back. Usually it works. But feel free.
I think I'm still here. I think I'm still here because I can hear you pretty
no,
much.
Justin, yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But feel free if you have other questions. Feel free to take advantage. Oh, let me ask you, if you don't mind, how long ago did you know my channel?
Wow. Ooh, it's been years. It has really been years. I want to say 2015,
All right.
somewhere 2015, 2016. But I did go back and look at some of your older videos. So, um, you looked a little bit younger, but you still look the same when you had the fro.
Yeah.
And you were, it looked like you were a tour guide, just in, I don't know if you were in Egypt or not. I really don't remember, but I just remember binge watching a lot of your older videos around about 2015. Now 2010 is actually when I got with my first child. It's like the knowledge just like was a stream. It just started coming through me from out of nowhere. And I actually got a chance to meet Brother Bobby Hemmett. He came here to Memphis and he gave a lecture and he spoke a lot about the Netu Neter. And I could be,
Sorry, can you say the name again of the brother?
Bobby Hemmett.
Oh, Bobby. Okay, he's into metaphysics. Okay.
Yep, yeah, he came, but he did speak about the Netu Neter. Am I saying that correctly?
Medu yeah. Well, Medu Neter, yeah, that's fine. It's really Medu Neter, but the ch and the ter were kind of interchangeable. So if you say Medu Neter, it's fine.
I basically need to get in the class, right?
Well, it's not mandatory. It's really it depends on how people feel, because I say many times, Medu Neter is not for everybody. And I had some people, who took the classes and after the first class they did not continue, or some people did not continue after a few classes. But usually, if people are interested, they would actually continue with the classes. But I'm available, for everybody that wants to learn it. And I also have some testimonials. You might have heard of testimonials, but I just love teaching it.
Well, I'm going to thank you. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I will most definitely be looking forward to your future lives, and hopefully I'm in position to actually, ask my questions that I have, because I do have more questions. But thank you again.
Make sure to hit that, the notification bell. Because people just subscribe, I think they don't get a notification. But if they hit the notification bell, probably they will get the notification. So I'm looking forward to speak to you again.
All right. Thank you. See you later.
Okay, see you later. All right. Wow, that's lovely. I mean, the sister, she knew about my channel. I think she said 2015. So 7 years ago. It's quite amazing, really. Someone has been following you for 7 years, and you just happen to speak to the person like that. And the other day, I was speaking to the brother James, and he told me he knew about my channel. Well, he knew about me because I lost a channel back in uh, 2016 actually. Uh, Back then, I had 9,000 subscribers. Um, he told me 10 years ago. He knew about me 10 years ago. You see, and because my account was terminated, I kind of lost contact with a lot of people. Some people just sometimes they happen to stumble upon my channel, or get to maybe on TikTok or Instagram, they will see somebody mentioning my app forever, and then they will find me again and say, I knew you, from like '08, and stuff like that. I started my website in 2004, you see, but in 2008, I had a big presence online. So for those who wonder, how come he has so many subscribers, but he has so few people who call in? I had many accounts, and the majority of the people who subscribe to this channel is because of the Muay Thai and kickboxing, all these kind of videos. I was practicing this martial art, the Muay Thai, and I was really involved. So I would go to many tournaments and film a lot, and then I stopped practicing, and I was still, dealing with Mother Nature and African history and stuff like that. But there will be more videos about the martial arts. So now there's no longer videos about the martial arts, and I'm still doing the same thing with the Mother Nature and African history at large. And yeah, and lately I've been more into the Mother Nature, really, because I'm giving classes on a very regular basis. Now let me go through the comments. Well, there weren't many comments, but there were a few. So, well, actually, there was just a couple. We have the visionary who wrote. Okay, I don't know why he or she wrote that. Nefertiti was a white woman. Yes, it's true. Um, I agree. I agree. But some of our people say that she was black or she was biracial. Justin Rodwell wrote that he had to take a call. No problem. Now, Bonita is asking, do I call myself a scholar? No, I don't call myself a scholar. Really, I would say, independent researcher. And the independence is important because we have some people, they get some findings, you don't really know where they get the finding from. You know, like, a lot of people don't know that some Asiatic black men in America, they got millions of dollars from Gaddafi, for example. So some people in France, they got money from Iran, millions of dollars, millions of euros, really, which is stronger than the dollar. So that's why I like to add the independent. I'm not funded. The only financial gain that I get is through the Mother Nature classes or the people who care to donate. And as a matter of fact, brothers and sisters, whoever feels generous, you are allowed to, if you want to make a donation. You have the PayPal at the top, paypal.me/math forever. It's my preferred method. You also have the Cash App, and it's Cash App, it's $ Maaf forever as well. So if you appreciate the work for all these years, feel free. We have African Science. That's someone that is a regular. And he's asking, Nefertiti was white. Yeah, I will claim so. Yes, indeed. What will make her black? You know. Now there's a coin with a depiction of Cleopatra. Oh, actually, thank you for the correction. Thank you for the correction. I don't know why I was thinking about Cleopatra. Cleopatra was white. Nefertiti wasn't white. So thank you. Uh, and I don't know if you go back, I started saying, I don't know why that person wrote that. So then I was like, should I go and block that person? And I don't know what happened. I was thinking about Cleopatra. I'm very happy that African science came in and because I was like really wrong. I was really wrong. Cleopatra was white. Nefertiti was black. Okay, you must have been like, what's going on, Shaka? Well, Sister RP, who wrote Hotep Henna E.T. Abet. Looks like a nice live today. Yes. There are two new callers today. Banita wrote, why do you use the terms white and black? Are we not what our nationality is? Just asking what you think. Well, it's a reality. Some people are white skinned, some people are black skinned. That's the only reason why. And the nationality is not enough because you can be South African, you can be Cameroonian, you can be Haitian, you will still be black. And besides, you can be French and be black, you can be American and be black. The visionary is saying, what will make Nefertiti black? Use the same logic as with Cleopatra. Cleopatra was from the Ptolemy dynasty. She was from the Ptolemy dynasty. Those are Greek people. Nefertiti was not from the Greek people. So I'm using the same logic. The visionary, wouldn't you be that brother who deals with that tribe chart? People, the guy who claimed to be indigenous of America. Giannis is Greek. What is Giannis? Bonita is saying thank you for your perception. No problem. African science will Nefertiti may have been an Egyptian or Syrian, according to Britannica. Really? No. Nefertiti, Britannica. Now I've heard some people that she say that she might have been from Mitanni. So let's read together. Now, if somebody wants to get on the panel, you know what to do. You have the link. So Britannica Nefertiti. Let's make it larger. Let's read together. So Nefertiti, also called Neferu Aten, Nefertiti, flourished 14th century BCE. Queen of Egypt and wife of King Akhenaten, formerly Amenhotep. You see, I told the sister earlier that he was first called Amenhotep the fourth. And once again, we are really the one who put the fourth to distinguish the different people with the same name. But what I've said, Encyclopedia Britannica say the same thing. Now, I did not say the most exclusive thing on the planet Earth, but for the record, what I said is attested by an encyclopedia. And Akhenaten reigned circa 1300 BCE. And earlier you heard me saying that it was like, around 1300 BCE. And so this is still talking about Akhenaten. He played a prominent role in the cult of the sun god known as the Aten. It's funny they wrote like the French way, Aton. Nefertiti's parentage is unrecorded, but as her name translates, a beautiful woman has come. Early Egyptologists believed that she must have been a princess from Mitanni, Syria. Oh, indeed, indeed. You know what's funny? I thought that Mittany was an area of Turkey, like part of Turkey. So, okay, now Mittany. Okay, so let's continue. There is strong circumstantial evidence, however, to suggest that she was the Egyptian born daughter of the courtier I, brother of Akhenaten's mother T. Although nothing is known of Nefertiti's parentage, she did have a younger sister, Mutnojmet. Nefertiti bore six daughters within 10 years of her marriage, the elder three being born at Thebes, the younger three at Akhenaten's Amarna. Two of her daughters became queens of Egypt. So we're here. Uh, this is from the Berlin Museum. We do have Akhenaten on the left, and on the right we have Nefertiti. Akhenaten and Nefertiti under the sun god Aten. All right. So let me continue going through the comments. So the visionary says that Giannis is the black NBA player who plays for the Bucks. But the visionary said that Gianni is Greek. I don't know what you're trying to say, you know. But he might have the Greek nationality, but he's still black, you know. RP wrote the two-headed mask thing that represents drama in Greece. Janus. Banita is asking, well, we have Pet Pet who wrote Bonjour Shaka. There's an R missing, but I understood what you meant. Banita is asking, was it a cult though? I perceive they presented it to the people in this way to instill fear. Are you talking about the cult of Aten? They call it a cult because it was marginal, because it was not the norm. The norm was the deities. Now, in today's world, in the Western world, it is called, well, even in the Eastern world, which is mainly, well, a big part of the Eastern world is Muslim. And the Western world, you know, Catholicism, Christianity plays a big part. So when you use the term polytheism, it has a bad connotation. But if you look throughout Africa and even population of the East and even the West and even some parts of Europe, you know, a lot of people had several deities until the Judeo-Christian Islamic way of life came and we're like, you know, there's only one deity, you know. And you have Hinduism with plenty of deities as well. You have many different belief systems with several deities. Okay, Pet Pet is basically clarifying that it's the Haitian greeting. Yeah, they say bonjour. That's just their way of saying bonjour. The pronunciation is different. So you are Claudia B. Why would you use a different username? So I wouldn't say that Encyclopedia Britannica and other people label it a cult to instill fear. but it's just really to emphasize the fact that this belief or this worship of the Aten was not the norm. And it appears that Akhenaten was unpopular to the point where he decided to leave the capital of Thebes or Waset and create his new city called Akhet Aten. And RP wrote, my bad, I misunderstood what was being said. I thought he said Janus. And Claudia B is clarifying that she's from her desktop. Now, brothers and sisters, we've been live streaming for 1 hour and 16 minutes. I don't mind continuing, but I would like some interaction, preferably someone getting on the panel. So now is the time. If you've never spoken to me, if you have followed me for years, now is your opportunity. Why don't you take this opportunity? And once again, for those who don't know, I require you to show your face. And I mean by that, with a webcam, I need to see you. So if you don't want to show your face, you can use the chat. So let's see how it goes. It's really nice to, to speak to people like that have been following me for years. The majority of the people who follow me, I never got a chance to actually communicate with them, And for those of you who want to learn the meta nature, remember to send an email to me and tell me which day will be preferable to you. Because I could do 5 p.m. EST, New York time. Could definitely do that. And if you know some people want to learn it, then let them know. Like I said many times, I'm looking for groups now. Groups of 10, So for the Saturday, 11 p.m. EST, I already have like 3 people all ready to get on board. Banita is saying, so now let's discuss Ethiopia, and it being said that they were the original Christians. And my question is, which came first, the Ethiopian concept of religion or the Egyptians? I don't see how the Ethiopians will be the original Christians. I really don't see that. Now you see here, we have the visionary who says, he does not mind if people don't show their faces if they give a donation. Why would you lie? Why would you lie? Why would you say that I don't mind if people make a donation, they don't show their face and they make a donation? My requirement is for people to show their face. I mean, it is what it is, It is what it is. And Banita has added, okay, just something I've heard. And that's the thing, we hear many things, but a lot of times it's not substantiated. And we have to be very careful. And you see, going to Encyclopedia Britannica is a good thing. Now, Wikipedia, for whatever that's worth, I will not outright dismiss it. On very popular topics, there is some African Science World a troll. I suspect it's a brother that used to call, and I suspect it's him. But even if it's not him, he obviously But so far he hasn't been disrespectful. So I let him be for now. As long as he's not disrespectful. He's probably feeling like he's making an accomplishment in his life. So I'm like, hey, that makes him feel good. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have any other occupation, so it's all good. So yes, for very important subjects and topics, they kind of have some moderation with the articles. There's some monitoring and so and all that, but you can have some stuff that are not very very documented and so on. Britannica is more reliable. However, a lot of articles are on Wikipedia. For those who use Britannica, I happen to have purchased Britannica 2012. A lot of articles on Wikipedia are actually copies from Britannica, and then ultimately some people will add more info, So many people say many things, but can they show and prove? Can they document it? Now RP wrote, I donate and I still am not calling in because I don't have my camera back yet. But for those who've been following the live stream for a while, they will remember Sister RP. She used to call a few times. African Science wrote, yeah, when I was a Christian, I used to wish Ethiopia was the root of Christianity. And we like to blacken stuff, as a people, We have people say, Prophet Muhammad was black, Jesus was black, the Arabs of the 7th century were black and stuff like that. But, I came up with a video, White Semites Black Awakening, and I stopped all that mess of the black Semites, And that's one of the reasons why many people are in opposition with me, because they love to say, Moses was black, Jesus was black, King James was black. And they want you to say, yeah, that's powerful information, brother. No, it doesn't work like that. And for those who don't know, the video is called White Semites Black Awakening. You have it in the description of this video and the others as well. And I show you artifacts, I show you depictions. And the funny thing is that not long ago, I went on Mosh World TV's channel, hosted by Brother Tahaka Bey. And early on, I mentioned the standard of war. Everybody can go on the search engine and type in British Museum. Well, just standard of war, and look for the result from the British Museum. British Museum, not my website. And you can look at the depiction, the physical appearance of the Sumerians that appear on the standard of war, and the date is 2500 BC. And that's what I demonstrate in my video, White Semites Black Awakening, that from 2500 BC until present time, those people in Sumer, Mesopotamia, Akkad, the Levant, all these areas, Canaan and all that, they were white skin, Caucasian type, not black at all. So the host of Tahaka Bey is trying to dismiss the standard of war, say, well, but how do you know it was a color, blah, 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 blah. And him being in his ideology, he resulted saying Saddam Hussein was melanated and Osama bin Laden was melanated. And that's why he did not invite me back, because he said he would invite me back so I can talk about the Medu Neter, So we have some brothers like that who tell you, rather than accepting the facts, artifacts is a fact, not because it's called artifact, but it's not an opinion. And we have plenty of artifacts showing the depictions of Sumerians, Mesopotamians, Canaanites, even from Kemet, or people that are sometimes labeled Canaanites or Asiatics. We can clearly see their phenotype. And so rather than accepting the evidence, then they will go and say, well, Saddam Hussein was melanated. Osama bin Laden was melanated. And it's a shame, RP said, respect the host, please. The visionary says, Haile Selassie was not black. What was he then if he was not black? Vanita wrote, thank you all, and thank you and all the guests for the clarification. No problem at all. We will always get clarity if we discuss about those things that we believe in, that we think of, that we've heard. And usually people come from some school of thoughts, or they have friends or scholars that they listen to. And because they have some relationship or appreciation, they kind of feel like, well, whatever that person is saying that I roll with is correct. And sometimes they are a bit shocked when they find out that some claim, or most claims, or for some, maybe all the claims that they've been saying are wrong. And we've seen that recently with some people who, run around acting like, they know the Medu Neter better than most people. And they actually said several times that plenty of PhDs are wrong, Now here, brothers and sisters, I saw the beginning of the comment, but you can see why some people don't show their face. We have the visionary who said, "You say Osama bin Laden was not black, but he was blacker than Haile. This is the conflict of interest." Is that Tahaka Bay, brother? Did you come with another username, brother? That's why sometimes people don't want to get on the panel, don't want to show their face because they make claims like that. Osama bin Laden was blacker than Haile Selassie. If some of you know how to make memes, then make that meme. Osama bin Laden was blacker than Haile Selassie. Oh, but yeah. Bloody hell. Ah, man. I wish you would call in, man. But I understand why you don't call. I mean, it's hard to leave with statements like that. Unless you say, I was just joking, y'all. I was just messing with y'all. But the sad thing is that you're not messing with me. You really mean what you wrote. Banita said, don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. There are 7 people here and only 4 likes. Oh, that's bad. Look, if there's only 4 likes. Earlier, there were 11 people there. Let me see how many likes. 5 likes now. You know, and those things, I'm glad the sister reminded y'all. I shouldn't even have to say that at this point, No. Okay, let me just read a message. Okay. So Maya Kelly wrote is asking what is the name of the show. Actually, he reminded me that I have to say the video because he might remove it. It's not a good look, to be honest. Not a good look at all. I mean, he's the first guy I ever heard saying Osama bin Laden and Saddam Hussein were melanated. That's great, man. Oh yeah, let's see if I can save that video. I'm sharing the link. Okay, so the Haka Bay claiming that it's Saddam Hussein and Osama bin Laden were melanated. Might sound crazy when I say that, but he really said that. Oh man, my people will go at great length to validate their ideology. I mean, you have a dude, who said that Ra is a volcano, and they will have the nerve to call people pseudos. Okay, saving that video. Oh no, it's not. No, that's not the video format here. So. Why is not the video format there? Oh, there it is. And keep the comments going. And if some of you get, if some of you want to get on the panel, then feel free. But I have shared the link. Mia Kelly's African Science wrote France hosting Champions League final. You need to get out and support Liverpool next week, Shaka. I actually don't follow the football. I'm not skilled at all with the teams and the championships and stuff like that. I've heard about Champions League. I couldn't even tell you, what it's all about. Which kind of team plays, which countries play. I'm one of the last person you want to ask about football. So, I just don't follow football or soccer, as you say in America, because when you say football in America, they mean, the American football. Now, the visionary wrote that Heidi was a white Semite. You cannot deny it truthfully. Yeah, okay. I heard you. And you are an Asiatic black man, ain't you? Right? You must be a Moor. Bonita is asking, are you on any other social media platforms? So actually, I have an account on, Twitter and Instagram and TikTok, but I kind of use Twitter, but I don't really use the others. I'm on Facebook as well because, I don't know what's wrong with people, so mainly I'll be on YouTube, People love things that are popular. They love to see so many people following one person or one ideology, and then they follow. But I understand. We have Asiatic black men that teach that Africans are living a jungle life and Africans are not civilized, and black people are cool with that. I'm not cool with that. And we have black people who teach that Jesus was black and the Hebrews or Canaanites were black and the Arabs of the 7th century were black, and I don't agree with that, and I wrote about that. So we have plenty of people who celebrate Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a fraud, it's some plagiarism of the Jewish holiday Hanukkah. So when you don't have views that follow the majority of the so-called conscious community or Pan-Africans or African-centered people, then you might be labeled somehow, some way. You might be seen as some people call me an agent. Some people called me a Zionist. I was called so many things, man. But besides Kwanzaa being a plagiarized version of the Jewish holiday Hanukkah, the guy tortured black women. So apparently, even if you torture black women, it's cool. If you wear the dashiki and you talk about Africa, it's cool, So the visionary says now that Haile Selassie was an Arab. And then he added that Ethiopians speak a Semitic language. So what? So what if they speak a Semitic language? I speak an Indo-European language. Does that make me Indo-European? The visionary, please step your game up. Please step your game up. For real. So Haile Selassie, according to the visionary, was less black than Osama bin Laden. This is the message he wrote. He addressed me saying, you say Osama bin Laden was not black, but he was blacker than Haile. And now he says that Haile Selassie was an Arab. Okay. All right. James Powell is saying, thanks for that Tahaka show, Shaka. I check him out sometimes. Yeah, he dropped the pearl, Osama bin Laden melanated. For those who don't know, all people on the planet Earth, including white people, Caucasian people, Russians, all of them have melanin. Even albinos have melanin. Some might not have any. But most human beings on the planet have melanin. So whenever you hear people say, oh, he's melanated, I deal with melanated people, that doesn't mean anything at all. It doesn't mean anything at all. It's just them not wanting to use the word black and not really want to associate themselves with Africa. That's all, And that's why you don't really hear about the Moors nowadays. It's been a little while we don't really hear about the Moors, The visionary, don't take it the wrong way if I'm ignoring some of your comments because I don't want to spend too much time with these fruitful claims, these exotic claims of yours. You know what I'm saying? It's funny for a little while, but I ain't gonna spend the whole evening, quoting you because I'm trying to keep a standard here. I'm trying to keep a standard. You know what I'm saying? It's important. I mean, you can go. The guys who say that rise of volcano and lies in the Egyptian text. You can go to the platform and say that's the law of pseudo stuff. So you're fitting right in over there. You know what I'm saying? You can go to the people who teach Africans how to live in a jungle life, and Africans are not civilized. You can go and join the people who teach that black means death and white means purity. You know what I'm saying? You'll fit it right in over there. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you go to Huckabee show? He says that Osama bin Laden was melanated. So you're saying that Haile Selassie was an Arab, or that Osama bin Laden was blacker than Haile Selassie. I'm sure he'd be happy to have you on his team. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I left, I'm gonna save to Huckabee show. When I left, was like, yeah, the brother, he doesn't understand that, we don't have all the same phenotype. I mean, please, brother, please. The Moors and the Asiatic black men, they are like that. They'll tell you about the people from Ethiopia and the different phenotype, as if we don't have a predominant phenotype. And when I say we, I mean black people. And when I say black, I mean people of African descent. Don't we have a predominant phenotype? They love to take the exception and try to make it a rule, Don't black people of African descent have a predominant phenotype with the skin tone or skin color, with the hair and the nose and the lips? Isn't that the predominant phenotype? It looks like some people wish they look like Osama bin Laden. It looks like some people wish they look like Saddam Hussein. Oh man, my people, man. My people, man. There's some extra stuff, man. So I'm going to make this private. I'll still do that. I'll still make it private. Just saving the video, just in case, some people are like, no, I never said that. No, it wasn't me. You're misquoting me. I've shared the link. All of you brothers and sisters can go and listen. Now, James Powell was telling Visionary to chill. Now, brothers and sisters, I've been live streaming for 1 hour and 40 minutes. We don't have callers, so you can participate in the chat. But I would prefer to have some callers. I mean, is it so difficult, brothers and sisters? I mean, some of you might be slinging dope, so I understand you want to get in a pound of what. We don't have just drug dealers and bank robbers and people are into scam. You know what I'm saying? And we have normal people who don't have a problem showing their face. The visionary is claiming that he's spitting facts. Brothers and sisters, have you ever heard that Osama bin Laden was blacker than Haile Selassie? Is that a fact? Where did you hear that from? It comes from his mind, but it became a fact. And we have brothers like that, man. We have brothers like that, man. They make their personal opinion a fact. Have you ever heard that Haile Selassie was an Arab? That's a fact now. Says who? Says you? Who are you? We don't even know. You are anonymous and unidentified. You are a username. You are a username kicking fact in the chat because you don't want to show your face. Which scholar agree with you? Which PhD agree with you? Same question we asked the two pseudos. We try to change the grammar rules of the Meta Nature. How many PhDs agree with y'all? Why do we have this habit of making up stuff and then talking sideways about other people because we don't believe that stuff that they talked about? That is exclusive. That is brand new. But by all means, a visionary, you just continue. You know, you might come up with some other hip hop quotables. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you already did good. You know, you'll go down in history. You know, you will really go down in history as an anonymous username. You know, it's not my mind, it's the pictures. Yeah, it's not my mind, it's in the pictures. Pull them up if you dare. You are confused about the facts, sir. I could easily jump on and take you to school, but you have rules to prevent it. No, I don't have rules to prevent anything. Why don't you want to show your face? You have something to hide, brother? It's not an obligation, but maybe one day you will come to the real world, or you can send somebody that lives in the real world and I can come and holler. But you're doing picture scholarship. So now, brothers and sisters, we hear that it's in the pictures. Osama bin Laden is blacker than Haile Selassie. You are more, aren't you? At least answer that question. Are you a Moor, or are you some other type of Asiatic black man? What are you, brother? What is your ideology? What is your doctrine? What is your school of thought? You are an Asiatic black man, ain't you? We can recognize you miles away. I do have something to hide. I am disfigured. Oh, come on, man. It's going to be the new thing now. Well, you know what, brother? You can wear a mask, you know, or ski mask and get on panel. How about that? How about that, brother? What will be your excuse now? What will be your excuse now? I'm waiting for the excuse. My webcam doesn't work. My computer doesn't have a webcam. I have a smartphone, but the webcam doesn't work. My connection is not good enough for the webcam to work. And there it goes. He will, okay, when I buy a ski mask, I'll come on. So you don't have a mask. You are disfigured, you don't have a mask. So you don't go out your house. You don't go and do the shopping. Or when you go out your house and you go do the shopping, it means you're not wearing any mask. So if you know if it's not a problem for you to go outside of your house, why is it a problem to come on the live stream? I doubt that you are telling the truth, but I'm used to it. I'm used to it. You guys is always excuses. Brothers and sisters, we're kind of distracted with some, you know, and you see, brothers and sisters, if I spend so much time with anonymous and unidentified people, they come with exotic claims and we're not moving forward, you know. I don't know what it means by that. Amazon delivers. All right, Amazon delivers food. Amazon delivers food. The guy's going to tell me he only eats with Uber Eats and basically doesn't get out of his house. Please. You never have to deal with any administrative issue like, you know, driving license, a passport, or some documentation that you need from the city council. You never had anything. You never go to the bank. You never go to the post office. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh man. How do you eat? You never buy groceries? Man, please. Brothers and sisters, please save us from this, man. I'm used to just reading the latest comments, you know. If somebody come in, can't call it, you know, get on the panel, just, you know, deal with something real in the chat. Because it's getting pitiful right now. Just getting pitiful. We can do better than this as a people, you know. How many likes now? 9 likes. That's better. Okay, well, maybe we'll call it a day then. It's been an hour and 47 minutes. You make the show, you make the broadcast, brothers and sisters. It's depending on your participation. But I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what you've been seeing here from the anonymous and unidentified username, well, many people who think like him. Don't think that he's isolated in his world. The Asiatic black men, they have the same mindset. You know, the Asiatic black men, they show you a guy like this, they'll tell you that he is black. Share the screen. Yeah, they're the one who tell you about supreme wisdom and science. This guy here, they'll tell you he's black. You know, that's what's cool. That's what's hot in the street. So when they tell you that the Arabs of the 7th century were black, that's what they mean. That's what they mean. You understand what I'm saying? We need to progress as some people. James Powell was asking, why is the African continent being so disrespected? Well, we have black people who teach that Africans are living a jungle life and Africans are not civilized. We have black people who teach that we are marking disfigured, and that's why we have this phenotype. I mean, listen for yourself, brothers and sisters. It's 3 minutes long.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you're so busy frying it. That's why you're so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black, but they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight. Yes, sir. Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
African Science wrote that it's shameful that he met Farrakhan before that they were on the same flight. And he added that Farrakhan is lost if he still believes this. I'm not in Farrakhan's mind. Farrakhan is the leader of the Nation of Islam. Many times he refers to himself as the representative or national representative of Elijah Muhammad. Louis Farrakhan believes in the teaching of Elijah Muhammad. What he taught, what he said, is the teaching, the doctrine of Elijah Muhammad. So it is safe to say that he still believes in it. Dr. Wesley Muhammad, PhD, believes in this. And his plan is to academically vindicate the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. That's his purpose. The Nation of Islam members, the FOI, the Bean Pie sellers, the bow tie wearing brothers, they believe in that. It's not just Farrakhan. Members of the Nation of Islam believe in the teaching of Elijah Muhammad. The visionary wrote that Farrakhan is a Freemason of high status. I've made a video about that. Well, it's called Master Mason Farrakhan. Some people would say those were honorary status. Elijah Muhammad was a Mason, by the way. Khalid Abdul Muhammad was a Mason, by the way. The visionary added that Louis believes in Freemason teachings, of which the NOI is based off of. The Asiatic Black Men movement derived from Freemasonry. So do the MSTA, the Moorish Science Temple of America. Those movements derive from Freemasonry. So we don't need to single out the Nation of Islam. And the Moors do as well, derive from Freemasonry. I know what RP is talking about. He's got all the valuable resources. Well, in a few minutes, it will be 2 hours. I guess we're going to call it a day because nobody else calls in. African Science wrote, yes, agreed. Some people fake their belief for financial gain, though. Either one is crazy to me. Some people might fake their beliefs, but I really doubt that Farrakhan will fake his belief in the teaching of Elijah Muhammad. The Nation of Islam members believe that everything Elijah Muhammad said is right and exact. People need to understand that. Of course, it doesn't mean that every single member of the Nation of Islam believes in absolutely 100% of the words that Elijah Muhammad said, but overall, they believe in the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. And for the record, many members of the Nation of Islam are not aware of the teaching of Elijah Muhammad and some of his teaching. That video that I played, many never heard it before. And I recommend you to do the test. You have the link to that video in the description. It's called Shabazz Malediction. Speak to a Nation of Islam member and tell him, did you know that Farrakhan said that we are marked, we are disfigured because we rebelled against God and we didn't have kinky hair before? Or leave the kinky hair part. Just say, did you know that Farrakhan teaches that we black people are marked and disfigured because we rebelled against God? I'm sure the majority of NOI members will tell you, no, that's not true. And then you play the video. It's like a Christian believing that the Bible is the word of God, and a Christian believing in what is written in the Bible. So when the Bible says that the Hebrews were enslaved in ancient Egypt, they believe in it. Even though in the field of history, in the field of archaeology, Hebrews enslaved in ancient Egypt is not documented. James Powell wrote something strong. He wrote that Elijah was a child molester. Be careful, brother. The NOI members are known for putting in work and killing people. They are very trigger happy. I mean, they kill men, women, and children. People should look up the Hanafi murders. But it has been reported that Elijah Muhammad had sexual intercourses with some 17-year-old girl, maybe 16. I don't know if he went below 16. But I urge you, brothers and sisters, to be careful with the words you use with the Nation of Islam, because, like I said, they are known for putting in work. They are known for laying the murder game down. So it's not worthy to get killed by religious zealots. Religious zealots. It's not worth it. See, we've seen what happened in Nigeria. Deborah Samuels. She was beaten to death, then she was burned. Yes, look up the Hanafi murders. They killed men, women, and children. Baby. They didn't want to shoot the baby, though. It was either their heart or their conscience. They drowned the baby. So they showed kindness. They showed mercy. They figured it's not cool to shoot the baby. Let's drown the baby. And they drowned the baby. Of course, it's not all the Nation of Islam members who did that. It's just a few, some people just believe in those teachings and they try to strive to be good people and all that. So it's all good. Everybody's free to have their beliefs. I don't share that belief. I don't believe in those teachings, and I have the right to as a human being. Just like I didn't believe that the COVID vaccine will cause so much harm, because we had some brothers and sisters who became experts in medicine overnight when the COVID was popping, and they would disrespect the people who didn't think like them. They would disrespect people who will decide for whatever reason to take the vaccine. So just like we had people who became experts in the field of medicine when the COVID-19 was kicking, we have people who claim to be experts, behave like they were experts, act like they are experts in many different fields. I mean, not long ago, I had a brother who went on the very last platform. He pulled up a hieroglyphic sign of the arm. And the dude said live on air that this sign means Allah, that the hieroglyphic sign means Allah, which is something that was claimed like 10 years ago. Circa 2008/2009, that was claimed. He didn't have a problem claiming that. And you ask him, he'll tell you that he's skilled and knowledgeable. Some people will say it's just a mistake. It's a mistake if he says so. If he maintains that it's not a mistake, it's a straight up error, a straight up falsehood. And as a group of people, it seems like we love falsehood. People make the weirdest claim and we go for it. So at least I pride myself that throughout the years I've been consistent with what I present to the people. And I try to tell people when it's something that I believe or when it's conjecture, something that I think, I make the distinction with the facts, with the evidence, with the records, with the data. Brothers and sisters, if you want to have a channel, a YouTube channel that is successful, then you can just claim that Osama bin Laden was melanated, that Saddam Hussein was melanated, that we are marked and disfigured because we rebelled against God. You just do a mix of all these pseudo teachings of the Asiatic black man, you will have probably 40 to 50,000 subscribers. You would do well, but it's a matter of choice. I don't want to do that. That's what people like to hear now. They want to hear that Allah is in the Egyptian text and Ra is a volcano. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear that Cam after a name is a title. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear about the root chakra and astral projection. They want to hear about alkaline water. They want to hear about immortality. They want to hear about you can roll your arm back like a lizard. Some metaphysicians actually teach that. I've documented that in the past. So, you understand, brothers and sisters, why some people don't want to get on the panel, because they have to be careful with what they say. They have to watch what they say. Now, on some other platforms, if they go and say Saddam Hussein was melanated and Osama bin Laden was melanated, because it will be a platform with people that share their doctrine, it will be accepted. It will pass as something cool. It will pass as something factual. Why? Because they look at the pictures. It's in the pictures. That's how the world is. To each his own. Some people are food fetish. Some people are bowel movement fetish. Some ladies are physically attractive. They go to Gulf countries and get urinated on and defecated on. And they are happy about themselves because they got paid. Some black people wouldn't touch a black person. But you have some white people who will marry black people. But you have some black people who will not touch a black person. That's how the world is. It's a matter of perceptions, preferences, and mindset. All right. What I was really waiting for somebody to get on the panel, but it looks like it's not going to happen now. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm sharing this link of the video entitled Kemet Mad. I've not seen it. You're sleeping. I'm sharing this article that documents color or physical appearance of Prophet Muhammad according to Islamic sources. It destroys the arguments of those who tell you that Prophet Muhammad was black. This video here is called Deception of Asiatic Black Men. That's where you will see that the Asiatic Black Men movements derive from Freemasonry. Then here's a video that I mentioned many times. It's called White Semites Black Awakening. You will see many artifacts showing the physical appearance of depictions or depiction of the so-called Semites. This one here is Shabazz malediction. This is a supreme wisdom. It says that we are mocked and we are disfigured because we rebelled against God. Basically, the Islamic version of the curse of Ham. Here you have a full hieroglyphic sign list according to the classification of God. Here, here's my website. As a matter of fact, for those who would like to support me, well, first the email address for whoever wants to learn the measure. And for those who would like to support me using Cash App, but I personally prefer PayPal. So here's my PayPal address. You know, brothers and sisters, I've been thinking, about going to school and getting some degrees, but seeing the support that I get, looks like I can forget about this. How people follow me for years and never once made a donation. And when I suggested, being supported with $1 a month, it doesn't happen. I usually upload videos every day. And I show original artifacts from museums around the world. So knowing that every day you get, more or less every day, you get a video, some original content, you might think that, over a 30 days period, it's worth $1. Some people have consultation. They will charge you $50 for half an hour or an hour consultation. Some will charge even way more. Some will charge you that much for 15 minutes. But it's all good. People are under no obligation. But I feel like it's a shame. So thank you for being there. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thanks to those who came on the platform today, on the panel, I mean. I would say, as I usually say, if you are not part of the problem, you are part of the solution. I'm sorry. That's me being tired. If you are not part of the solution, you are part of the problem. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to, by the nature, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotel. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, Before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hana Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how, involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Neture class. Hotep.
Don't forget subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.